What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another interview with Kickin with Kachi, where we highlight individuals that are taking the industry by storm. And today, we have the pleasure, honor, and distinction of sitting down with legendary actress, filmmaker, director, producer, writer, Malaia B, owner of Malaia B Productions. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in.
I'm so excited. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kachi. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
How's your day going before we hop into this?
My day is it's going pretty good. I feel like I'm on time. I was a little late, but Saturdays are for cleaning and organizing,
Right.
all of those things. So, I got up early, cleaned the house, washed my hair, all that good stuff. So I got a hat on. I'm in transition of getting my hair done. But other than that, it's going pretty good. I'm excited. I feel good. I'm happy it's the weekend. How's your day going?
Same. Like you said, like Saturdays are for reggae and cleaning. So
Right.
just been in the house and just been cleaning, getting my mind right, been unwinding from the weekend. Excited to do this interview as well because I love talking to my people from the Bronx and speaking to my Black queens. So love having you guys on the show and love having the work that you guys highlighted. So thank you again for coming out here.
Of course.
So obviously we gotta talk about elephant in the room, right? If you guys do not know, Malaia B is the owner, proprietor, founder of Malaia B Productions. How did you get into this idea of producing content, wanting to create a brand where you're producing visuals, film, TV, and other eye-opening experiences?
So when I was younger, I actually have a photo. I'm gonna show it to you guys in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Let me just get it right now so I have it to show you.
I love when they come with props.
Just because you asked the question and it's sitting here. So when I was younger, my mom had me in modeling and acting and things like that. When I was like around like 7, 8, 9, my mom had me in modeling and acting. I've always wanted to be on TV. I loved like being the center of attention. So it's a passion I've had since I was a little girl. I've always wanted to be an actress, be on TV, be on the radio and things like that. I went to school for communication, specializing or focusing in TV and radio production. So when I graduated, I wanted to start putting out content, and I also wanted to make sure that if money ever came rolling in, that it was serviced through my business. So I started Malaia B Productions. Malaia B is my alias. It's not my government name, or my stage name, as they call it. It's my stage name. So I did Malaia B Productions LLC. So anything that I create through YouTube or Instagram or TikTok and things like that, I want it to be funneled through my business, just so to help build my brand, and I can be able to create and do more content, more film content, short film content, and things like that. But I want to show you guys my headshot when I was a little girl. It has my government name on it, so I'm trying to cover it a little bit. But it's from when I was
wow.
Yeah.
So, it's Malaia B and you're watching Disney Channel.
So that was my first headshot that I ever had. I had other photos, but I don't know where they are. My mom has them somewhere in the closet tucked underneath a bunch of unnecessary things. So yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to do when I was a little girl. So now that I'm older, I want to make it my dream, my mission, to make sure that I'm able to create content and be a successful actress and filmmaker, if so be it. Yeah, and it's funny because I actually need to take my headshots over. That was when I was like 7. I'm early 30s now. So I'm actually scheduling to take a new headshot towards the end of the month. But yeah, that's where Malaia B Productions came from. That's how she was started.
Yeah, it's good that you're getting a new headshot, because I don't know if you can still use the one from when you're 7
No.
years old. You might you might show up and they might be like, oh, let's make something a little different.
Yeah, and then I walk in and it's like, yeah, you're too big for this role.
So for a lot of people, when they go through the traditional route of film, TV, communications, they go straight into corporate, i.e. working for somebody else, right? Creating content, pushing content for somebody else. Was it intentional for you specifically to say, I'm going to trailblaze my own path, I'm going to innovate my own path and not try to appeal and apply to the bigger corporations or even the film industry, TV industry companies that we all look up to and we all admire?
So yes and no. When I got out of college, honestly, I really did want to work for a major production network. I applied for VH1 and BAT and Bravo, Warner Bros, HBO's. Like I applied for all of those companies. And I never, radio stations, 97, 105.1, I applied for everything. And I never got any hits, to work there. So when I started my podcast in about 2017, that was one of the reasons why I started putting out my own content as opposed to waiting for me to get a job in these organizations or companies where I would help them produce their content. I wanted to have like a reel and a portfolio of what it is that I'm capable of doing. So when the time does come and they're like, well, what have you done? I have podcast, I have my short film content, I have my film content, and things like that to show them. So yeah, it was important for me to not stay stagnant and wait, and more so create my own path towards becoming a successful actress and filmmaker, content creator, and things of that nature. I didn't want to wait, and I'm still not going to wait, which is why I'm producing my own films and putting out my own content, because if I wait, it potentially can never happen. So I want to make sure that I can build my portfolio. And honestly, creating my own content allows me to be more creative, because I have creative control right now over whatever it is that I want to do. So if I want to play a crackhead, I can write myself as a crackhead role. If I want to play a teacher, I can write myself into a teacher role. If I want to play a police officer, a mom, whatever, I can write myself into those roles, as opposed to trying to convince someone else that, I could play a teacher, or I could play a police officer. They might not look at me and see it, but if I have my portfeel that will show, did play a police officer, she has played a mom, she has played a teacher, or whatever the case may be, I feel like my chances for getting roles would be greater. So I think it's important to trailblaze my own path and make sure that I'm still doing what I want to do, whether I have the opportunity in front of me from someone else or not.
Yeah, and I love that that idea you said of like not staying stagnant, and the idea of just because your passions and your dreams were not validated or affirmed by somebody else does not mean that those passions and dreams are not affirmative and valid, and then taking the time and taking the resources to create your own content. Right now, back to, like I said, elephant in the room. I love getting into those big projects that people are working on, and the biggest project that you just worked on, Deadbeat, right?
Yeah.
Written, produced, directed, and also starring in the lead role of Maya, right? If you guys don't know, Deadbeat is a short film about a single mother in NYC taking care of her 7-year-old daughter, who is dealing with the most ain't shit man that you done ever seen, done bless the earth, you know what I'm saying? Right. So where did the inspiration come from for Deadbeat, and then how did you create it? Like, for a lot of people, they don't know how to get their own projects off the ground. So maybe hearing about your story, about your process, could help, that next filmmaker, that next director figure out what steps they need to take.
So the inspiration of the film came from everyday life. I think that through social media, it's easy for you to hear about someone's story who lives in Washington, D.C., because people are sharing what they're going through on social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and things like that. So I see a lot of women, talking about not having a, father to their child when he's willing and able. Like he'll go to the club, but he won't pick up his kid from school. Right. I know personally who also have to deal with that, like kind of like hardship. And, so that's what the inspiration of it came from, just everyday life and like people that I know that are going through similar situations. When you think about how deadbeat fathers have become like bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger in today's world, it's like, initially, to be honest with you, going to the process, I wanted to also make sure that I created my own film so I can see how that process is. Because to be honest with you, I didn't think that it was going to take me almost a year to put it out. I thought I was gonna shoot it was going to be edited. I was going to have a premiere within a couple of months. And it was like, no, so many other things have to happen before that process. So initially when I wrote it, I wanted to release it on Father's Day. I wanted to
oh my God.
I wanted to make men upset. Like
you was gonna cause a stir.
Yeah, I really was. I really was. I really was. That's what I wanted to do. But again, going into the process of it's not so quick. And I know for me, it's a short film, it's only really like 12, 13 minutes edited down. We didn't get to shoot, I think, like 1 or 2 scenes. So it was aimed to be between 15 and 20 minutes. Right now, it's like 13 minutes plus the credits at the end and things like that. So going into the process, the writing process it took me, I want to say, maybe a couple of weeks or to a month or so. I don't remember, because I wrote the script. I'll write a little bit each day. And then I reread it like 17,000 times, right? Because I think of something new that this character can say as opposed to what I originally wrote them saying, or I add in a scene or I take out a scene. Like it, I have to like fine tune it, like, with a comb, with a fine tooth comb, to make sure that it's like as concise as can be, because I only have 12 minutes to get the storyline from beginning to end, right? So that process takes, I want to say, depending on the writer, could take a couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending on how many times you want to edit it and reread it and proofread it and things like that. Then you have characters that have different schedules. Some are moms, some are dads, some don't have children, some are working, some are entrepreneurs. You have to figure out everyone's schedule on how to shoot, right? Like, when can we shoot? So trying to narrow shooting production days to as minimal days as possible is hard, because then you're paying for production every day that you have camera, right? So then you have to worry about that. That takes time, trying to get everyone scheduled together. Then you have to shoot. I had one 12-hour production day.
Wow.
And yeah.
Jeez.
We started, I want to say, at like 9 a.m. the first day. And then I had 2 like 3 to 6 hour days. So I would consider it, I consider it like a weekend, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because it was 3 days, but it really was a Saturday, a Sunday, and then a following Saturday. So 3 days in total, but the first day was the longest day. It was a 12-hour production day. Again, those things take time. You have to shoot things at different angles. Somebody messes up, cut, take 2, take 3, take 4, take 10, what I'm saying? Depending on how it flows. And then the editing process, right? My cinematographer, shout out to Dante Films. Love him so much. It took him, I don't want to say it took him this amount of time, because I know he had other projects that he has to like edit and things like that, but I believe it was like 5 to 8 weeks, right? So that's
still a short turnaround time.
It is, right? But still think about the time. I shot this last June.
Wow,
and I recorded it this March, just to give a time frame. Once it was edited, then I had to do a photo shoot with the cast, right? So I had the film ready to go. I just needed to do all the preliminary stuff, the promo, the photo shoots and all these things, right? So then we do our photo shoot. I think the photo shoot was in October of last year, just again to show you from March to October. We did the photo shoot. And then between October and November, I had to get all of the promo material together that I did myself. So I knew that I was going to start promo, like, let's say December 9th. And then I knew I had 12 weeks from December 9th to promote this film and sell tickets until when the premiere was going to happen, because I booked the location for the premiere in December, right? Because I had the date, I had the location, everything already ready. So 10 to 12 weeks of promo, right? And then we have this March where it actually was released. So when you think about it, it's like almost a year. And that was only a 15-minute film.
Jeez.
So it's a lengthy process, especially when you don't have a team. Like I'm pretty much by myself. I mean, I have help, but I don't have like a team dedicated to doing things. So I did everything myself: planning, coordinating, budgeting, you know, all of those things. But yeah, it's a process, but it's very rewarding, you know, when you see everyone come together to support not only you, but the people that you have, the other actors and actresses that you have in your film and things like that. It's exciting. It's like just heartwarming.
That's beautiful. And you know, I don't want to get into your business and everything into nitty gritty, but for everyone, also in this idea of you know, really sharing so that to learn from you, right?
Yeah.
Like for a lot of people on the ground, the biggest barrier is finance, right? So how did you get excuse me, how did you get into budgeting? How were you funded? How did you distribute money? Like how did all of that go? I don't want to get into your business, obviously,
No,
but
no, no.
to speak
Yeah,
to what you can speak to, just learn more about that.
it's expensive. Self-funded, by the way. Shout out to the people that are independent, doing it independent. You know, but that is also something that I want to work on for next time. Like I said, it's wearing many hats is not always an easy job. But I want to look into grants and sponsors and, you know, people that would be interested in help funding my project, because it is expensive. If I had to guess, because I don't have everything down to a penny, because there were some things I just like bought, like, oh, whatever, this is only $20, only $40.
Right.
I'm not going to go into the business account necessarily to purchase it. But if I had to make like an estimate of how much it cost total from last June to this March, I want to say anywhere between like 12 and like $18,000.
Jeez, that's a tuition. It's tuition for y'all trying to go to film school. You got to come back out and pay another semester. We're not in school.
Yeah. So it's important. And that's, like I said, that was just my own money, just like money that I had saved, that I had put aside for something like this, like doing like a really big project. Some of it just from me working and saving, you know, it's expensive. It's just really, really, really expensive. And like next time around, like I do want to look into getting like film grants and things like that, because those things help. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's $500, that can cover your photographer. $1,000 could cover, you know, one of the production days and things like that. You know, during the premiere, I had to rent out an entire event space. Like if I didn't, you know, I didn't,
Right.
it was nothing that I got for free. Let me just say that, you know, everything I spent money on every single thing. It's expensive. I think people if I had to give any kind of advice, is to definitely, what I didn't do. I didn't necessarily create a full budget. There were things that I forgot that I would have had to pay for, especially when it came to the premiere. You know, I wanted to make sure my decorations were nice and everything was really aesthetically pleasing. And like, you don't think about those things until it's like, oh, I want to get these balloons. Well, then the balloons is $550 for some balloons.
I know, it is expensive, yeah.
But you need them. You know, you want the letters and for branding and marketing and all those things, right? So the dead bee is like it was like $120 a letter.
Wow.
This is 5 letters. So
it's a good thing we didn't say dead beat.
Right. I didn't spend up till it out. That'd have been an extra $500-$600, you know. But it's expensive. It is expensive, but I don't want to deter anyone from thinking like they can't
Right.
do it. You know what I'm saying? I think that what's important is to look for like scholarships or grants, and there's crowdfunding. Like I said, I didn't do any of those things because I was just focused on like completing it. But next time around, I definitely want to make sure that I apply for grants or try to get grants and things like that. And also next time around, I'm not going to do as big of a premiere, right? Honestly, I can share it with you. I wasn't really sharing it with anyone else besides like my inner circle, but I'm actually starting or want to start more of like a film festival, right? Where I have a day where people can come and there'll be different time slots for different films, you know, as opposed to a premiere for every single film that I do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't make any sense. But if I can have one day dedicated to all the products that I have, or anyone else from the Bronx or Brooklyn, wherever, that may want to showcase their film, they'll also have a time slot to do that. So we can kind of just kill as many birds with one stone as possible, you know? So yeah, it's expensive, but it doesn't have to be. You know, budget and shop around for everything, videographer, photographers, things like that. Yeah, I think people would be fine doing it. I wouldn't deter them from doing it because it's expensive. It's just if it's something that you want, it's the sacrifice. Just like how you can see a nice bag, a nice pair of sneakers, a nice belt, whatever, and go buy it. It's the same thing when it comes to what you want, what your dream and what your passion is. You're gonna spend that money for it because it's what you really want to do, and you have to invest in yourself, you know.
And I like that because, like I said, I don't like, as you said, I don't want to deter anybody or scare anybody with the notion of creating their own short film or their own feature film. But as you said, like, it pays to play, right? Like, if this is what you want to do, if this is the passion that you have, and this is the reality, and you are the example that when you really sit down and make those sacrifices and push those buttons and put yourself in the right rooms, you can get to the premiere, right? So that's exactly what I want to talk about, because you went there, cups, balloons, picture, photo booths, everything. You had like 6 photographers, everybody was out there. So what was the experience like? You done the year shooting, 12-hour shoot days, paying for all of this, not knowing that balloons is $150 a pop, but now you're at the premiere. What is the experience in bearing your work, your baby to the world? You're showing people like, hey, this is what I've been working on for a year. Hope you like it. Clap, 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 and then, you know, cameras rolling. How was the experience in just being in that room, being in that space?
You know, if I could have extended the night 3 more hours, I would have loved it. You know, because initially when I booked the space, you know, I didn't realize like the reaction that I was gonna have and how I would have wanted to soak it in just even more,
Right.
you know, because we had an itinerary, we had a program that we had to stick to make sure that people were able to see the film and ask questions, and I had a host and all of those things. So when I actually, you know, with production, you have, you know, cast members that show up late and things like that.
Right.
You have those things in. But because I knew that the premiere, we were on a very, very strict timeline. And one of the things that's important to me, especially in this business, is time, right? Because I'm taking acting classes now, and you know, this is my first time taking acting classes since I was a little girl. So I did this entire film with no experience of, you know, being an actress. I only know what I want to do, and I'm just doing it. My acting teacher told us, when you get a budget for a film, right? I'm gonna just throw numbers out there. They're not gonna really add up to this, but just to give, you know, representation of what I'm talking about, reference. If you have a film that's $7 million budget and you're supposed to be on set, and, you know, when they break it down of how much production costs per day, per hour, per minute, if it's a $7 million film, for example, and you're 10 minutes late, you've costed the production company $7,000, right?
Right.
Factor it down to a minute. If it breaks down to like $700 a minute, right? If you're 10 minutes late, you've costed the production $7,000, because everyone has to get paid, right? So these production companies, they don't always own all of their equipment, all of their sound. They contract other production people that specialize in sound, that specialize in lighting, that specialize in whatever. So these people also have to get paid. And even if they are from the production company, like, these people still have to get paid. So if you're late, you've costed them money. And you can't just think, well, we could just shoot it when I get there. It's like, yeah, but we have another scene to shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I ran into that problem with production, and, you know, I felt bad because one of my cast members, she hired a videographer to get BTS, behind the scenes of her scene. Someone showed up late to the previous scene. So
Oh.
it took us longer to get to where we could get to change location. It took us longer to get to where she was, and then she paid her videographer for a certain time frame. You get what I'm saying?
It
And I
just
was on.
ruins out. It just a cascading
It throws
effect of like, yeah.
everything off. It throws everything off. And I know I'm backsliding. I'm gonna get back to your original question, but just to focus on time. So I made sure that for the premiere, I cemented it into their brain. You have to be on time, because I'm running this as if we were in Hollywood,
Right.
to the best of my ability. I want to be very punctual. I always want to be very professional in everything that I do. I don't like willy wally stuff. I don't like shanky danky stuff. Like, I need it to be as detailed, as precise, as concise as possible. So I told them one time, but I gave in my head a 10-minute grace period in case somebody was late, right?
Right.
So I actually had them arrive a little bit earlier. I was late. And I'm home, I'm getting ready. Everything was ready. Like, I didn't have any issues with decoration, set it up, everything was on time. But I didn't want to drive, obviously, because I was going to be drinking and having
right.
So I said, I'm going to get me an Uber. The first Uber I call, he's on his way. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still going to be there. I'm going to arrive right on time. He can't find my building. He cancels the ride. I'll call another Uber. He comes, says he's coming. Then I see that he's stuck at one location. I'm like, hey, sir, are you moving or are you parked? Like, what are you doing? You haven't moved for 5 minutes. He doesn't speak any English, respectfully. So he's he cancels the ride. So I have to request another Uber. And I literally called him and stayed on the phone with him to make sure that he was able to find my building. So when I got there a little bit late, but walking in and just seeing like all the cameras, everyone screaming, I had my, my theme music play when I walked in. It was just like the best feeling in the world. It just felt like it was my birthday, but not my birthday. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was just a really just, I don't know, exciting, like, I don't know. I just felt like I was like on, I don't know, like steroids or something. Like, I was like, hi, posing for the camera and everything. And like, it was important to me to feel that moment, because when you go to Hollywood and you go on the red carpet, that's exactly what it's like. They're like calling your name, like, hey, Malaia. So what is it like being, you have to like, okay, where do I go? So I liked having that feeling, because that's exactly how it is when you make it to Hollywood, But I felt really, really good. I felt loved. I felt energized. I felt motivated. Just seeing everyone come out and support me, and the other cast members, it was just a heartfelt, moment. I don't think I cried, but I try to be a thug sometimes. But I'm pretty sure, like, again, if we were there longer and I had more drinks, I probably would have cried by the end of the night. But it was a really fun time. Everyone had a good time. People loved the film. It felt good to get, positive feedback from everyone. And I know people I'm like, listen, don't tell me like it because it's me. If you feel whatever kind of way, let me know. I'm always open to constructive criticism, like I said, because this is my first time. I don't have any experience writing, producing, acting. This is my first time doing everything on my own. So, I'm open to constructive criticism, but, it was a unexplainable feeling of like joy and just excitement and love and, all of the above.
Can we see the film? Because unfortunately, not everybody could have got tickets to the premiere. If you guys didn't know, they wasn't selling no tickets at the door. So if you didn't get it before then, you couldn't get in. So is it possible to see the film, or is it anywhere that anyone can watch it online, or is it gonna be another showing? What's the deets on people that missed the film and really want to check it out?
So my plan, and you also are hearing it here first outside of my, friend group, is I'm working on part 2. Part 2 is written. I just have to start planning, location sourcing, and things like that. Excuse me. So part 2 is written. What I want to do, my plan is, again, going back to that kind of like film festival, where I didn't want to put it online. One, because I'm submitting to other film festivals, and sometimes certain festivals, if your film is online in any capacity, they won't accept it because you've already shown it to the world, right? And
Right.
they want to purchase it for whatever, they don't have exclusive rights because you have already shared it with the masses.
Right.
And you know, these other what you call them, like dark web websites where you can download movies for free. Sometimes they have independent films on there where they'll screen whatever, however they get it, you know. So you don't, they're not going to buy something that someone else might have access to. So I didn't want to put it online as of yet. I did want to complete part 2, and then my next, it wouldn't be a premiere, but showing would show part 1, we would have intermission, and then I'll show part 2. So for those who didn't get the opportunity to see part 1, they can see both of them right after each other. And the people that were able to see part 1 are going to be even more excited to see part 2. I'm also working on other short form content with my acting class. I actually have to call them after I get off with you to discuss some stuff. So I'm really planning on shooting, I want to say like 2 to 3 more projects this summer, so that when I do this film festival day, people are able to just see all the content that I've worked on, you know, within the past year, and things like that. After that, like film festival day, then they'll be on my YouTube, Malaia B Productions. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I also vlog and things like that. So yeah, so you know, I'm sorry to those that really want to see it, but if you just give me a couple of more months, I promise you'll be able to see it before the year is up. But that's my plan for it. Yeah, my plan is in a couple of months, once I shoot and get part 2 edited, I'll do like a film festival day, and I'll showcase all of the work that I've been working on this past year.
And that, well, one, that's beautiful, and two, to tell people, like, for your shameless plug, if they didn't catch that, Malaia B Productions on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, because she also vlogs.
Yeah.
Now getting into the Bossy Brunch, right? This culmination of like all these amazing people networking, and you are now the host of this thing that started out last year, was really cool, really dope, and now came for the second iteration, right? With Turn Your Events. We had Tabitha on the show last year talking about the Bossy Brunch, so I'm glad to see that it came back in its second form, full steam ahead. So what was it like to be in the room, but also kind of control the room, right? With all these individuals that had these dreams, these hopes, but also these accomplishments and successes and failures that they learned from. What was it like to learn and then grow with them as well?
Well, first part of the question is like going into hosting. I love to talk. You know, if anyone knows me, like I told you before, like I'm more of a reserved person, to be honest. I'm friendly, I'm a people person, but I'm more of like a reserved person. I don't really have like a, you know, excited, like energetic, like attitude. But I do like to be like the center of attention. It's like weird, like you're reserved, but you want people to notice you. Yes. So when I was growing up, like when I was in school, I remember when there were like award ceremonies, I would speak to like the dean or like, assistant principal, and I'm like, I wanna be the speaker for the award ceremony. And they're like, okay, like, you know, I always took initiative. Like I tell people, because it's been told to me, a closed mouth don't get fed. You have to ask for what you want, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not someone that's always like super out there, like, hey, let me just try this. I am a little bit more like, well, what if they say no, you know? But there are things that I'm willing to go out there and ask for, like no matter what. And I remember like when I was in 8th grade, they had this award ceremony, and I was like the mistress. That's what the title was, mistress of the ceremony. And there's this little girl who's like, what, 12, 13, you know, in a pink dress, like going through the entire ceremony on her own. With that kind of role in school would have been more so for a dean or assistant principal or teacher, you know, and I took the initiative to do it. So that's where my hosting thing, you know, came from. I know of like, again, my personality is very like, I'm cool, but don't mess with me. I'm that girl, but I'm also, you know, a little, you know. So that's like my vibe, you know. I'm like chill, you know. I'm very respectful. I'm energetic. I'm gonna compliment someone if I see. I'm not one of those girls that's like, oh no, I don't want to tell her she look pretty. I'll be like, sis, your makeup right now, you are eating that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like crazy. So and when Tabby asked me, and I hosted an event a couple of years ago. It's also on my my YouTube. It was like a beauty hair expo.
Yeah,
They
right,
had,
yeah.
yeah, they had a couple. They had what's her name? Something Reese. This makeup Princess Reese. This
Yes.
big, really big makeup artist. I believe she's from Brooklyn. She did like a demonstration of how she applies her makeup, and a lot of women were there also learning. It was really for women also, that were in that kind of industry, to see the top hair people and top makeup people in their industry and learn from them. I hosted like the brunch segment of that event. So when Tabby asked me this, she's like, would you want to host Bossy Brunch? And I was like, hell yeah, like why
Right.
wouldn't I? So now getting to the actual event, it's a beautiful experience. It's a humbling, motivated, like just all around love environment to be in when you see other Black women, especially thriving in their respective careers. You learn so much from them, and it gives you a boost of energy to know, like, okay, if this person can do it, then I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not in that same particular industry, something that they've said, something that they've done might apply to what you're doing, or what you want to do, right? Going back to a closed mouth don't get fed, and sacrifices and things like that. One of the women, I know her personally. She was a nurse practitioner, so she was making money, right? And being an entrepreneur and following your dreams doesn't have to come from you starting at the bottom. A lot of times I think that we kind of have this notion of starting from the bottom, now I'm here. Like, yeah, but also look at yourself as you're still doing well. You still have a good job. You still, you're still living however you're living, but you can still be an entrepreneur. It doesn't have, you don't have to,
exactly.
you don't have to feel like you have to thrive for something because you're at the bottom, and like she was a nurse practitioner and put her job in, went full focus into her career of, supplying like hair oils and, hair, shampoos and conditioners of women that were struggling with hair growth and things like that.
Right.
You have another young lady who is, I think she said she was a teacher, or I forgot what she was doing, and started doing hair. And, she kind of brought back the hair show, hair expo type of vibe back
to.
right,
yeah.
Back in, and my mom and my godmothers, they were hairstylists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I remember them like, oh, we going to Atlanta to the hair show, or we going here to the hair show. Like, going to the hair show, but it's a bunch of other people coming together, showing what they're doing in their cities or their, wherever. So her bringing that back to like I love that, because you see this person know how to do ponytails, and this is their technique, but then this girl do it, and this is her technique. And you're like, okay, I could do it that way. That's actually quicker. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm, so it's a beautiful thing to just learn from other women, other Black women, like I said, especially, that Black girl magic. I was humbled to be amongst so many successful women. It feels good to be in that kind of energy, to be in that kind of environment. Again, it's motive. I'm all about motivation. I want to be around things that are gonna boost my motivation, that's gonna give me some type of inspiration in any form to continue what I'm doing.
And that actually goes into my next question, because as we're seeing now, thankfully, fortunately, so a lot of women, especially Black women, are coming to the forefront of film, media, TV, and just production in general, right? Like the Issa Raes, the Quinta B's, the Ava DuVernays, right? The Shonda Rhimes, shout out to Queen Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? Like all these amazing, right? Exactly, like all these amazing women, like doing all these amazing things, right? And then here you are. Do these people sort of also ignite a fire in you, where you're seeing like, wow, like you're kind of at the right time, at the right nexus to continue pushing in this direction, whereas even 30 years ago, right, like this wouldn't be feasible for this wave to be going, or as vocal or as open as it is?
To be honest with you, my inspiration, how I get my inspiration sometimes is a little different, right? I don't like to, I like the content, like I'll watch, I love Power, Scandal,
right.
I didn't watch I started watching what's Easter Insecure.
Yeah.
I never, so it's actually on my list. I'm also a kind of person, I like to binge everything. So I rather like when everything is done, I'll just start from the beginning
Go
and just
for it. Yeah, yeah.
right. So those women are doing amazing things, you know, and I love it. I live for it, but I don't keep up too much with what they are doing. I rather just see what they're doing, like see the finished
Right, right,
product, right? Because I don't ever want to get so inspired by someone that I start to try to copy what they're doing or
right, right,
follow the path in what they're doing. There's no blueprint to me. There's no blueprint to anything, right? Everyone's life, everyone's circumstance is going to be different. What Issa Rae did is not what Courtney Kemp did, which is not what Shonda Rhimes did, which is not what Ava DuVernay did. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Everyone's different. Ava DuVernay didn't start filmmaking until she was 35. You know what I'm saying? And then you have some people that started when they were teenagers or teens or whatever.
Right.
So there's no blueprint to anything. To me, that's just my philosophy, right? You have to create your individual personalized blueprint, right? What you do with your life is your own blueprint, and no one else can essentially, they can see it, you know, but they can't follow it to a T. It doesn't work like that to me. So I am inspired by them overall, but I'm not the type of person that likes to see what other people are doing. I rather just do my own thing. And once I get there, then I know this is what worked for me and this is how I'm gonna do my thing. But I'm actually gonna subscribe to Issa Rae. She has a Patreon. I want to subscribe to her Patreon because I know she does like talks, like she'll do like little conferences and things like that, or not to say little, but you know, or big conferences. Big Issa, no disrespect to her. You know, and I would love to like hear about, you know, what they have going on. But I don't want to see too much of it, if that makes sense. Right. I'm really big on just like doing my own thing. And trying to see if what I do and how I do it works, right? Because I have my own plan of what I think is gonna get me to where I want to go. And I don't want to deter from that because I'm watching someone else do something and thinking that's the way it's gonna work for me. That if I go to every industry event, I'm gonna meet someone who's gonna give me my big break. Like I don't want to have that mentality. I really want to just do what I think is right for me. And then get there because I know I'm gonna get there.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
I know I'm gonna get there, but yeah, those women are doing really big things. I love to see it. I'm a fan of Power. I'm also a huge 50 Cent fan. You know, he's an asshole, but we're cancers. That's just.
I mean, like, that's what we do. Yeah, it's like it's the duality of the Cancer Nation. You know, it's like we're assholes with love.
So you're with me, you know. I think he is just like, he's so smart, he's so innovative, but just everything I feel like he touches, it just turns to gold. And you know, it's one of my like dreams to like be his mentee. You know, I would love to have him as a mentor. I love what he does in like film and production. He's also I think a trailblazer in that respect. I mean, just transitioning from music to TV and production and things of that nature. I think it's awesome. But yeah, you know, I'm as a woman, you can never not be, you know, inspired by the people that are here now and people that have come before you. So I can just only aspire to be as successful as any of them, you know, one day.
And I think what you're saying is beautiful because I was actually speaking with a good friend of mine yesterday. We were just going through pictures, like fashion things, and like just seeing this one dude. And I'm like, yeah, he's real fashionable, but he looks exactly like Tyler, the Creator, right? And it's like the beauty of art is like it's cool because you know it works, right? Like the winter cap with the shorts and the vest, like okay, great, like that works. Like we know that works. But then the beauty of art, as what I believe you're alluding to, is the newness, the innovation, right? The idea, the willingness to push your boundaries and do something that hasn't been done before, or do something in a shell, in a vein that is uniquely yours. And that's exactly what Malaia B Productions is. And I hope that a lot more people, even through this, and even after this can get to see the beautiful work that you're doing. So to get into, now that I got you comfortable, I always tell people that these interviews are supposed to be 30-minute long, but I know y'all just love talking. So it just gets y'all going. And so I can get y'all nice and comfortable for my real questions.
Okay.
So these are going to be real easy, right? Just a real lightning round. First thing that comes to your head. Don't gotta make it too serious, right? But I feel like whoever's watching this is going to get to know you just a little bit better past what your passions and what your general outward facing hobbies are.
Okay.
So, they always say New York girls are real tough, real aggressive. They don't know how to talk to them, right? So from your perspective, from your heart right now, what is the best way to get your attention for that guy or girl watching this video? Don't know what you go through, but it's Pride Month, so I gotta, speak to it.
Right.
What's the best way to get your attention so they know?
I'm a sucker for a good conversation. I think if someone is able to approach me and we're able to just have a free flowing, like unforced, genuine conversation, I think that's the best way to kind of like get my attention for real, as opposed to just approaching me like, hey, what's up? Like, what's your Instagram? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's like so typical to me. It's like my Instagram, I'm about to deactivate it in 2 weeks. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, really, is that what you want? My Instagram or whatever, like no conversation, no nothing, and just also being creative, like I remember one time, just to like tell a little story, this guy, I was at it was at Muggsy's, one of Muggsy's events that he had. And this guy was trying to talk to me. I was working the door and he was like, can I get your number? And I was like, I can give you my email, and this is like, oh no, never mind. See, for me, then it's like, it's a no, because if you know me, I play all day. I'm funny. I'm cheesy. Like I'm the girl. Like if you can't take a joke, then we can't be friends. We can't be boyfriend. We can't be nothing because I play all. So if he would have been like, I'll take the email, I think it would have been cool for him to actually like email me like, hey, what's up? And then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not about to email with nobody for 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying?
But then y'all got that cute thing going on. It's like, yeah, we started out talking, girls. He emailed me. We had a little thing for a week.
Yeah, like let's be different here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's so typical of like, let's, you know what I'm saying? Like there was a point in time where like if you met somebody, you want to talk to them and you ask them for their aim, if they didn't have a sidekick, you couldn't talk to them until they got back home.
Right, exactly,
so,
right.
You know what I'm saying? There was still some delay in when you actually got to speak to them anyway. So, I think just if you could start a good conversation, if you could be funny, I'm funny too. Like I'll say something funny if it's somebody that just approached me just to see like what their energy is like. If they're like, oh no, like forget it. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to play.
Right.
So someone who can take that or someone who can approach me and start a really good conversation that's just like, again, free flowing, organic, genuine. Yeah, I would say that.
Good banter. You like good banter. So what are the top 3 zodiacs you like to keep around? We gotta take away Cancers because we know we're the top tier ones that everyone else likes to keep around. So what do you like to keep around you?
To be honest with you, one of the signs that I noticed is around me the most, which I know that I love, is Libras. Like my best friend's Muggsy is a Libra. One of my other childhood best friends is a Libra. One of my uncles that I'm really close to that I hang out with a lot, he's a Libra. Yeah, a lot of Libras. I dated a Libra once. So. I think Libras, if I meet someone like, yeah, I'm a Libra, I'm like, okay, cool. My god sister's a Libra, and she's like, so I would say Libras. Like if I meet someone and they're a Libra, I'm down for it. The second is Leo. My aunt is Leo. My aunt is like one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. One of my other best friends is a Leo. 42 people that's Leo that I know, but I love Leos overall.
But they're important though, yeah.
Yeah, and my sign, I'm Cancer, but I'm the last day. So I'm like Cancer. I'm a cusp baby. I'm right on the border of both. I'm the ending of Cancer and the beginning of Leo. So some people tell me that I have the personality of a Leo, and then some people tell me that I have the personality of a Cancer, which is why I say like, just again having that duality in your personality. Like I could be an asshole, You know what I'm saying? But I'm also like fun and sentimental, and I'm a little sensitive. I cry sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And what else? What other sign? Um, it would be between Sagittarius and Scorpio.
Okay. A little bit of spice. Either or, it's a little bit of spice.
Yeah, it's between, so definitely, like I said, Libra, Leo, and between Sagittarius and Scorpio.
Okay. What is a hobby or passion that you have that most people don't know that you got? I'll tell you mine so that it makes you feel a little more comfortable to share this
Okay.
skeleton in your closet. So for me, all right, so I'm a thug. You know what I'm saying? I'm tatted up, I'm tall, dark. I love reality, love TV shows. Like
Ah,
reality, love shows, like Perfect Match, Too Hot to Handle, Love is Blind, all of those. I'm watching like 5, 6 and I'm the type of person where I go into the TikTok and I watch the after, watch the reunion, catch up on the live, follow
oh,
on Instagram. I'm that guy. Yeah.
so you're
But
in
I'm a
it.
thug. So I don't let nobody know that about me. So now that I said that, open up myself to you. Now you can tell me something that you you do that most people don't know that you like to do.
I'm trying to think. I'm all over the place, to be honest with you. Like I'm a sucker for like learning, new
Right.
things. So I can say I want to read more. So I try to like read a chapter a day. Right now I'm reading damn, it was just right here in my bed. Lord, something with the mind. The power of
Mm-hmm.
your subconscious mind.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm reading that. And I watch a lot of podcasts. That's one of the other things that like I'm into. Like I watch Jason Lee. I love Jason Lee despite
Yeah.
about him. I watch Jason Lee's podcast. I watch Worth the Game. I watch Drink Champs. I watch other interviews. With people I'm not really too familiar with, like who the hosts
Right.
are, but like they'll interview like a 50 Cent, or they'll interview, a celebrity that I'm interested in and I want to hear what they got going on. So yeah, I'll just say like I like to watch a lot of podcasts, and gain information from the people that are in the industry that I also want to be in, that I'm working towards being in. I can't think of something that I do. I'm trying to think if there's a hobby that I do. I can't think of anything right now. Um, yeah, I can't think of anything other than that right now. But yeah, I'm just watching a lot of podcasts and trying to read more, stimulate my brain and get off of socials as often as I can.
Right. And hey, the question is definitely hard because Pee-wee has like, what do you do? You gotta think about, I really don't be doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, so to end off the interview, right, and a fabulous interview. Thankful for you to come by and really share your story with us as well. And you've already given us a lot of gems and a lot of advice. But I like to end off my interviews with just 3 lessons that my guest has learned in their life that they would love to share to the audience watching this and whoever else that will be watching this in the future, so that they also can gain some inspiration, some gems to follow their own dreams, their own passions.
One, I would say it's big for me is like believing in yourself. Like I know it might sound like cliche, but I think a lot of people may think they can do something, but they don't believe that it can actually happen. Like I've done tons of things. Like today I'll say, oh, I'm gonna, sell jewelry, or I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make that. But the one thing that I'm always gonna stick to is acting, filmmaking,
Right.
all that, because I believe in it. I believe that this is what I want to do. I believe that I'm gonna be successful in it. I believe that I'm gonna be a big Hollywood actress. Like I believe it. There's nothing that no one can tell me. Like you can't tell me that I'm not going to be there, and like I have that belief. So you have to believe in yourself even when other people don't.
From iPad 7.
Sorry, that was yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. I would just say believe in yourself. Like no matter what, it doesn't matter what trials and tribulations that you go through. Like everyone has gone through them. There's no successful person that I can think of that hasn't gone through a hardship or hit a roadblock and has not prevailed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you're black, white, and it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Everyone goes through some type of hardship, no matter where they are in their life. So believing in yourself, no matter what, be willing to sacrifice, right?
The big one, yeah.
I don't care what it is that you have to sacrifice. Sometimes it's something that you love the most. For me, it'd be sleep. I love, as crazy as it sounds, like I love to have rest because I know that the body doesn't function well when you don't have it. You know, I don't ever want to be that person that I'm like, work, and no sleep. I know that works for some people. Some people like, nah, I was up all night. I'm not sleeping. I'm chasing my dreams. That's for you. Again, this is why I kind of don't like to look at what other people have done to get to where they are or follow what they're doing, because that might not work. You know, little baby might be like, listen, I'm not sleeping. I'm hitting every city. I'm going to every show. I'm doing everything. And then another artist might be like, I'm not doing that. You know, I'm going to prioritize my rest because I know I can't be my best self and perform if I'm tired. If my body, you can't fight your body. You know, you cannot fight what's inside of you. You cannot fight it. You can't, if you want to go to sleep, you're going to go to sleep. That's why I decided to say people can fall asleep behind the wheel of a car, right? You don't want to sleep, but your body that you can't fight against it. So I prioritize sleep, but it is something that I feel like I sacrifice. You know, I work every day. I work 7 days a week. I work my job. And when I'm off, I'm here figuring out ways to do what I need to do, whether it be, again, location sourcing, organizing my scripts, organizing whatever. Like I'm always doing something, you know, and sometimes it comes at the cost of what's most important for me. Like I said, it's sleep, not too much, but I sacrificed it. You might sacrifice not hanging out with your friends as often. You know, one of my friends, he had a big party yesterday and, you know, I didn't go, you know, and it's just like, I'm hyper focused on what it is that I want to do. And I don't have the energy all the time to do those things. So you have to be willing to sacrifice and just saying that it might be something that you really love. Like I really wanted to go, you know, you really want to really want to do these things, but you have to sacrifice something. So be willing to sacrifice, you know, believe in yourself, be willing to sacrifice. And the third thing I want to say is don't be hard on yourself. You know, I know for me, sometimes it's easy for me to feel like unaccomplished, like, oh God, I'm not doing anything, you know, I'm not doing enough, or, you know, I need to do more. And I was like, Megan, you know, you only have so much, but so much hours in the day. For a portion of you're sleeping, for another portion of them, you're traveling. So, you know, try not to beat yourself up if you feel like you can't accomplish everything on your to-do list today. You know, go easy on yourself, you know, still push your limit and still be disciplined as you can, but don't overwhelm yourself to the point where you're questioning if you're even doing a good job or if you're even doing enough, or, you know, things like that. So believe in yourself. The second one I said is what? I forgot.
You willing to sacrifice?
Be willing to sacrifice. Thank you. You're here with me.
What I do.
And the third one is, you know, take it easy on yourself. You know, don't beat yourself up for, you know, again, any roadblocks that you might hit, or if you feel like you're not doing enough. You know, work at your speed with as much discipline and progression as possible. And I think everyone will be great.
Mm-hmm. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for coming by. And you guys, thank you for watching this amazing interview with Kickin with Kachi. You guys can check out Malaia B even though she made this deactivate her Instagram in 3 weeks. I'm not sure, but
I'm thinking about it. Probably not, but I probably just delete it off my phone. I don't know. I've been on social media so long. I do need a social media break. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, still follow me. You know,
follow her. You know, maybe she'll delete off her phone and then she'll wake up to some new followers afterwards. So make sure you follow her at May. That's May with 4 Y's. May_B, and follow production page at Malaia B. That's MALAIAB _productions on Instagram. Can't check out her new film, but you can check out all her vlogs, all her postings, everything that she's doing right now on her YouTube at Malaia B Productions as well. Reach out to her if you guys ever want to work with her into the production, visuals, music videos, events. anything under the sun, check out her. She's a dope individual. You can check out this interview at the DC Voice on Instagram and YouTube under Kickin with Kachi. Hey, we're out of here, guys. Peace.
Thank you so much.